In this question, we will find the power series representation in an interval of convergence of 8 over 8 plus x. We'd like to think that this looks like 1 over 1 minus x. And we know the power series representation for that. That's x to the n from n equals 0 to infinity with interval of convergence -1 to 1. At this point, we need to convert the function that we're given and make it match this 1 over 1 minus something. Remember that x doesn't need to be an x, because whatever we have here, we can just turn this x into whatever is here. But we do need a 1, and we do need a 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 8 and factor it all the way out front. But then I need to deal with this 8. And so that I'm going to do by factoring an 8 out of the denominator, even though it doesn't look like it's actually in both pieces. This 8, if I factor it out, becomes a 1. If I factor an 8 out of x, it becomes 8x over 8. Right? Think about it, distributing this 8 back in, I get 8, and I get 8x over 8, which is x. So this is really exactly the same thing. At this point, this 8 and this 8 will cancel, and that actually becomes 1 over 1 plus x over 8. One last step, I'm going to write that as 1 over 1 minus, that's what I need, 1 over 1 minus something, and that's negative x over 8. So I put the minus and the minus together, and at that point, I can use this formula here, or this process here. X is x, so now we have negative x over 8 instead, and it becomes 0 to infinity, negative x over 8 to the n. Distribute the n to the negative and to the 8, and that becomes sum from 0 to infinity, -1 to the n, x to the n, over 8 to the n. That is our power series representation. We do need to also think about our interval of convergence. Notice what we did. We took x and turned it into negative x over 8. So that will be -1 less than negative x over 8 less than 1. Multiplied through by -8 makes 8 bigger than x bigger than -8, which is the same thing as 8. -8 is less than x is less than 8, and that is our interval of convergence.